Well, I'm gonna buy some monitors.
Hey, folks, welcome to the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. I'm Jeff S., aka True Knowledge, co-host of the Bleeding Edge. With me, JRent2000 from a podcast Odyssey. First time back for a while, waiting for Andre's the Pop Culture Guy to show up. Cyberneticshark, my co-host, is not with us tonight. He's not feeling well. We're doing it. Welcome to Derry, episode 3. We're recapping the episode. JRent, while we're waiting for Andres to show up, what's your general consensus so far, Ben, through 3 episodes of Welcome to Derry?
It's a good show. I I just started getting into the horror business, as of late, and getting up to season 3 has been enjoyable to watch.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. What did I say?
Eventually there'll be a season 3. It's the show's supposed to be 3 seasons, it's set in different time periods throughout history, like different decades, yeah, going back in time over the seasons. Like, that's how it's going to work, so like essentially, like, don't get too used to the characters, because they're going to go away, from season to season. You'll see a whole new cast every year that they every whatever 2 years, whatever, that they put the show out. I hopefully they'll HBO will put this right out, like, and there won't be like big breaks in between the seasons. That's one of the things I don't like about some of these TV shows nowadays, with the streaming services and everything. A lot of these shows, it's not like where it used to be, where, like, on a year-to-year basis, you'd get a new season of a show, and they would just pump it out. Now you're seeing like these breaks where you're seeing like two plus years, 3 years going in between seasons of shows, and I'm just not a fan of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to hang in there with a show, when there's 3 years almost passing in between seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we want more and more content. Like the story's so good sometimes, and then when it stops, you're like, oh, then especially when they leave you on a cliffhanger.
Well, it's hard to, like, stay, a fan of a show, what I mean, if it doesn't come out, you know what I'm saying? Like from season to season, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like House of Dragons. I mean, when did that was like 2 years ago. I've seen the last.
It takes a good 2 years in between seasons for House of the Dragon to come out with another season.
Yeah, it's too long. Like, I'm already over it now. Like, I was into it when I saw the last season when it ended, and now it's
I'm assuming season 2 will come out in 2026. Or season 3. I'm sorry, season 3 will come out in 2026. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'll be into something else.
I think that's the last season. I'm not sure, but it might be. I think there might be one more after that. They might do a fourth season too.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's too long. I already forgot about what happened in season 2. Like, I don't even remember how it ended.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those are the side effects of of having these long periods in between seasons. It's hard to stay hanging in there with a show. And like remember who the characters are and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But Welcome to Derry has been pretty good so far, and I like that it's a prequel and you don't have to have any real knowledge, going into it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's good for the audience, you know what I'm saying? To be able to come into that situation, right? Yeah. And not have to have read the novel or watched the films or whatever, to be able to get into it, I think they're going to kind of flush out, the whole story and the whole, like the sort of the origins of, of Pennywise and all that. I think episode 3 was the first episode where they really kind of got into that part of it, and like we got Pennywise, in an episode, you know what I'm saying? Like really for the first time. So what did you think about that? Like, obviously, you know enough about it, just like everybody, right? That like the clown character is the main villain, Did you know that when you watched episode 3?
I mean, well, yeah, we expect to see him at some point, right? And the first couple of ones you just to kind of go back on on the episodes, we see the little demon baby and and all the kind of the weird stories of like the person in the woods and then we get to the cemetery where they're in the inside of that tomb. There's that like that impression of. I mean, I'm assuming that's it. The clown.
All of it comes. It's all it. Like it's all
Oh,
like it's
yeah,
all of
but
it.
clown. Like the
The
what?
the clown character, or like or that old man in the woods, that's it. Like what I'm saying? Like when that scary looking fucking like old man with one eye and shit was like running, and his legs and his limbs got all long and all that shit, that was it. That's Pennywise,
Yeah.
But he has powers, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, Andres, you there or what? What the fuck are you doing?
Hello, sir. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, David. Nice to see you again.
What happened to your audio, man? Are you in a different dimension tonight or what?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm like undercover, so I cannot like reveal my location right now. So I'm like in deep trouble, guys. From the Pennywise himself. Hello, everyone.
What happened? Sir? What happened, sir? Did you
wrong show? Never mind.
Your audio, you sound a little bit different.
Sure.
You sound kind of different, man. Are you on like a different computer or something?
No, I'm using my phone. I'm using my headphones. My what do you call it? These headphones are the Go pods, so whatever you call them. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay, sir. So you're using your headphones. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the headphones for the phone. They're different from the ones I use for my computer. So.
You're using your phone?
Yeah. I'm just waiting on how you say Google Chrome.
Nice.
So I can get into the other.
Well.
Yeah.
You're going all out using the phone, man. All right. So well, listen, Andres, I was just asking J Rent about Welcome to Derry, like so far this season and all that, So like, where are you at with the show so far through 3 episodes?
Well, I gotta say, I've been really pretty much enjoying the show. I think so far the mystery stuff around like what the government, like the guy Francis, the government lead person that we're following in the show, and like what we're seeing with the kids, like reacting, some of the Losers Club with the new kids in the 1960s. All that it's like really good if you like the It franchise in general. And I really like this 3rd episode. It's definitely my favorite right now because of the use of the character from The Shining, which we'll get into. As obviously The Shining is one of my personal favorite from the Stephen King movies.
I didn't realize there was a character from The Shining in the episode.
The Shining.
Yes. So Dick Heron, the black soldier that has the telepathic abilities. He's from The Shining. He's from the Stanley Kubrick movie and the Doctor Sleep sequel. If
is that who that is? That character? He's that black guy from The Shining.
Yes, exactly.
That has the shine ability or whatever.
Yes, yeah, with the shine.
Yeah,
and so it's great to see like an early version of this character and using his abilities to find Pennywise, which is a really cool and neat idea. So I really like that aspect.
Well, I guess that means. What do you? I'm sorry, J-Rat. What'd you say?
I'm sorry. I said so. They're crossing universes.
Some of the Stephen King does cross over. People say, there are some crossovers with some of the Stephen King stuff.
Yeah, and my research on the It book, apparently there's like a chapter where they explain that because apparently the character Dick has like a shop in Derry, so he's in one of those chapters in the book. So it makes sense why they have him in this story. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's kind of cool, good connection. But yeah. So that's my thoughts on. I think so far the show is doing really good. I'm really excited
Was
that
he
the show's.
was he actually in Doctor Sleep as well? That Dick
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, in the book he's in Doctor Sleep, the movie as well. He's in it. He's played by who is that guy?
I'm not
Carl Lumbly.
I saw Doctor Sleep only like the scenes of it, like on YouTube. I never actually saw the whole movie, so I never saw that
Okay.
scene.
What? Check some of the clips because the actor that's playing Dick in Doctor Sleep is actually Carl Lumbly
You told
from
me it was
the
Carl Lumbly,
Falcon.
yeah, from Falcon Winter Soldier.
So he's playing that character, and so he's in that movie too. He talks to Danny, and in the astral projection
Oh, okay.
realm.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting crossover and connection. I didn't realize that character was from The Shining.
Yes, which is really cool. I'm very happy they did that because it's cool.
Yeah, the whole thing with the shine powers and all that is very interesting.
Yeah.
J-Rat, I take it you didn't see Doctor Sleep?
No. Was that part of the assignment?
No.
It's
just
the film that came out after The Shining. It's like The Shining 2.
Oh
yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because Stephen King made a book in 2013 called Doctor Sleep, and then 2019 they made a movie. So and the character, like, they brought back all the characters from The Shining. If you know that movie and book and all that.
Yes, I
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's the one where they have fake moon landing, right?
No, it's all crazy theories, sir.
It's basically telling you that he was like, hey, I'm the director, and I'm gonna let you know that I did the directing for the fake moon landing in my movie. That's what that movie's about. If you
no, it's crazy theory. People that just think that Kubrick did the 1968 moon landing, which is not true. That happened. That's not.
No. Yeah.
The moon landing didn't happen.
No, the moon landing totally happened. It's not that inconceivable that people would have been able to get to the moon.
I'm just saying.
I know, John Rant. I hear those theories.
People have been to the moon. It's a reality. We've been to the moon. Anyways, all right. So
it sounds like a conversation for Podcast Odyssey. So that's I'm done talking about it.
There's not that much of a conversation really to have, J-Rat, honestly, like, there's no, even if they fake the moon landing or whatever, there's been other expeditions to the moon, so we've been to the moon, it's at some point. We're still going to the moon. We're there's still a desire, like, globally to go to the moon, like overall, like, in the world. People still want to fly to the moon.
I bet they do.
The Chinese want to put a base on the moon.
I bet they do. I bet we do too. I bet we really want to go to the moon.
Yeah, we do too. If China wants to do it, then we do. Then we want to do it too. Yeah, most definitely.
She's got a there.
It's a big time mission. Like a lot of planning that has to go into something like that.
Since we've been there once, we could do it again, right?
You got to actually bring building materials with you into space. To build the station. Like prefabricated walls and and like ceilings and shit like that and all that. That's all got to go with the flight. So it's a lot. But anyways, all right. So welcome to Derry, episode 3. Now You See It is the episode title. And let's see. It's written by Andrew Bernstein and directed by Guadalis Del Carmen and Gabe Hobson. Oh, the other way around. Written by Guadalupe Del Carmen and Gabe Hobson. Directed by Andrew Bernstein. So this synopsis is kind of all over the place, honestly. Like, it doesn't actually fall. It doesn't stick with the timeline of the episode, but I'm still going to go with it. So it says, in 1908, a young Shaw has a vivid experience of a horrible man who stalks and pursues him when he is saved by a young Rose when he runs in the forest after the carnival, when he goes to the freak show, right? You know, and his dad's, you know, car, like, or whatever, breaks down and all that shit. And he buys the water. You know, they leave the forest, and she tells him that they are no longer in danger and explains what that thing is. After that, Shaw and Rose spent the entire summer together until Shaw left Derry. So I'll stop there. I thought that introduction was actually really cool. They carried the Wikipedia episode breakdown carries further into the episode beyond that opening. You know, in reality, when in the episode, right, like, you don't actually see the entity, like the entity chasing him in the woods until later. You know, but for the suit, you know, for the purpose of this, you know, this breakdown, Andres, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on that opening where it goes back to 1908?
Sorry, it's really cool because we get more a background. Well, we get like a origin story with the general that's been doing the operation in the 1960s. I did not expect that. And that was one of the cool things about this episode, that we're moving along with the plot. And I like the twists and turns that we got from this, like, flashback. And because, like, the, you know, like, what was that toy? The sling thing, whatever. Like, that becomes an important, the slingshot. Like, the slingshot becomes, like, an important object in the episode, because that's what Dick is going to use his shine to, like, locate, you know, Pennywise, or the location he's at, you know. And I thought that was really neat to, like, really see, you know, how this young, you know, Shaw is in this, like, era. And I like the, you know, the crazy circus theme, because, you know, that's what Pennywise is. He's a clown. And, you know, of course, we're going to discover his origin, like, why he picked the form of a clown, you know, because he does take other forms, as you were saying, Jeff, to Generate. Because Pennywise is an alien. He takes so many, like, shapes and forms to, like, you know, strike the fear of the victim, you know, as you see in the last 3 episodes. Is like he takes the victim's worst fear and turn it into, in this, like, crazy, you know, scenario for him to, you know, pry them and kill them, you know. And yeah, go ahead, Darren.
So yeah, I have seen some of it, and I realized that he was an alien. This episode actually really confused me with the whole Indian burial ground thing, and
Sure.
the ghosts and all that. I was like, wait, so is he some type of evil spirit, or is he an alien? Because I was under the impression that was like some alien. But anyway, that's it.
No, to just answer, you know, briefly your question about that. So, like, the Indian people know Pennywise, like, present in Derry, and we actually see briefly, because they know him when he arrived to Derry, and, you know, when he was from outer space, and we'll see more of that detail I think in this series. And they have a weapon that kind of, like, I think contains Pennywise. I'm not sure they're going to adapt that from the book. So, you know, they know who Pennywise is. And in this episode, when we'll go to the recap of the episodes as Jeff is going on, the character Rose knows about what's going on with Pennywise, because, you know, we know that little girl is her in that time period as well. The person that's running
don't break all that down right now, man. I'm save that for later.
No. I don't want to break it down, but I'm just telling you that the character that from the older timeline knows the presence of Pennywise. So that's why she's worried about, you know, later on when she, you know, meets up with Shaw, 50 years, whatever, time they now meet for it. But yeah, so Pennywise is an alien, and I just think that the show is going to display more of the origin story, Jay Ren. So some groups knows about Pennywise in Derry. It's just that Pennywise hasn't yet taken over the influence of a lot of people, and so it's just that those people are not under the influence of Pennywise like dark power that he has that like turns them into like really vicious monsters. If you've seen chapter 1 and chapter 2, but yeah. So just wrapping up. I got my Google Chrome, so I'm gonna jump off and go into the Google Chrome. But I gotta say, the beginning is really great. It really sets up really interesting plot points that we're going to see later on in the episode, which is cool. And that's really neat because we're moving forward to the plot, which is important because you're trying to build up this mystery, what the general knows and why he's doing it. And then plus we got another major twist that we'll discuss later on that was kind of neat too, because now we have this other group that knows about Pennywise in his like layer, because we got adults and kids that are involved in the plot line, which, is not in the It movies, so it's great that we got two or three group of people that are like after Pennywise or like they know Pennywise, present in Derry. So that's my thoughts on the beginning.
All right, J-Ret, what are your thoughts on that that whole section where they go into 1908?
I like the little like what do you call it? Going back in times. I don't know what you would call it, but the references where they. I guess that's a general, right? I can see that.
Yeah. The guy Shaw is like that's a young general.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's why he knows, like when we get up to like the current date in that time in that episode or the season or whatever it is, that he knows about what they're looking for, because he figured he was there as a kid, and he encountered Pennywise or it. He encountered it when he was a kid, so he knows about it as a general, right? That's what we're figuring out.
Yes.
Yeah. Essentially.
And using that, the black dude who's a psychic, or what is it? What would you call him?
He has this power called called Shine. The Shine.
The Shine.
Yeah, it's called the Shine. Yeah.
It's a type of psychic ability from that universe.
So what happened? I mean, I like the going back in time thing. I think it's really cool because then you kind of get like understanding, and you're like, what's going on? How do you know about this? How is the government tied into this? Why is the government involved? And then you figure out why the government's involved, and it tells you.
I thought that old man in the fucking woods was actually pretty scary, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, it was really scary.
J-Rat, I thought that shit was scary.
Yeah, it was scary. The little demon baby to me was scarier. The inside the grocery store was scarier. It was a little weird, but the cemetery was kind of goofy. I mean, I don't know if we're there, but
no, we're not going that far.
I mean. Yeah, I mean, it was it had like some jump scares. There was some stuff in there that I was like, oh, okay, cool. Spooky.
I like the depiction of the carnival, from 1908. You know what I mean? I felt like that was pretty authentic.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was pretty accurate with the times, I guess. Step right up, and all kinds of bearded lady type thing.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really add elements like animals and stuff like that and all that, and like into the circus and all that until later on. In the like a couple decades further, they that's when they went in that direction. Back in the day, it was like the bearded lady and shit like that. Like that's kind of what the kind of shit they would have. But anyway, so So Lily gets discharged from Juniper Hill, the mental asylum or whatever, and in school, Lily and Ronnie plan to obtain visual evidence to exonerate Hank, the father that's, in jail, who we see in jail because Shaw goes and visits him, right? And Shaw, after finding nothing useful in the car, sends Halloran to use his abilities on air or in air. And Halloran has a vision of soldiers dying on battlefields in a war and of bodies floating before escaping. Leroy saves Halloran from falling out of the helicopter. And I'll stop there. J-Rat, what did you think about that section of the episode where they did the whole helicopter flight and all that? And Lily got out of the nut house or whatever, and went back to school and all that shit.
I mean, I don't know. I was kind of going through that part of it because I was kind of like waiting to see what happens at the end. Her coming out of it was okay. Going back into school, it was interesting because you're talking about the part where he was coming out of where he was trying to jump out of the helicopter. I'm talking about the guy with the shy ability, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because he was like in the I don't know, like in his head with where he was like encountering Pennywise because he was over that area.
Yes.
And he was jumping out. I didn't understand that. He was jumping out, or he thought he was trying to get out of that place, but what he was doing in physical reality was just trying to jump out.
Yeah, Pennywise was like in his head, that's what caused him to try to kill himself.
Yeah. Got you. I mean, it was the whole take was very interesting. And I was like, okay, this guy's got psychic ability. He was in a place and he was like, who are you? Right? Pennywise was telling him, who are you? Or like, what are you doing here? And I was kind of confused by that, but I guess like his psychic abilities got him into like his realm.
Essentially, yes.
What it was?
That was that was like his realm that you saw.
Right. And he got into his realm, and he at that point he was like, we shouldn't be there, right? To tell the general. It was interesting. I was kind of like confused by all of it, but I was taking it all in, and I remember it, and I'm tying it into like all the key points of it. But I think that part of it was done really well.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool, J-Rat. Whatever you got, man. Andres, what do you think, brother?
Yeah. So this section I really like. Well, first off, it was weird that they did a time jump like that. I was not expecting them to like go into the back to school what do you call it, season. I thought we were just gonna go through the summertime for the show, but
the
no.
1908. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't really expecting that time jump, to meet the Lydia in the hospital and like her leaving the hospital. Like I was like, really? I thought we were gonna probably see more episodes with her in the asylum, but I guess not. But anyway, so I that was a weird moment, but like I thought it was okay, fine. We just we have to stick with the school theme. This is it. So it makes sense because if chapter 1. The kids, when we were dealing with the kids there, it was the summertime. We never dealt with them in the school time. So this was, I can see why they didn't want to do the summertime again. So, fine. So, her trying to convince Ronnie to like find, take some evidence / picture at Pennywise so that they could exonerate, her father. That's a cool idea. And, I don't have a problem with that. And then, at the same time, this is the part where we meet Ronnie's father in the prison cell, right? Because the police chief is trying to like pressure Ronnie's father to like confess, which is which is not true. He didn't kill the kids or took the kids away. A really great scene. I mean, that actor really did a really good job of acting
really desperate because, like, you know, he is an innocent man, and I'm just so annoyed about the police chief making this awful crime against this guy. And by the way, Jen, right, I know you're not a big fan. I don't know how big fan are you in the It or Stephen King stuff. The chief is actually a descendant of a bully in the book of the It. So we see a character named Burroughs in the movies. So I just want to let you know.
What do you mean? Who's a descendant?
The police chief, one of his like I don't know cousins or nephews in the 80s timeline of it. It's he's actually going to be a major antagonist in that story, in chapter 1. And oh, and this scene, I know. Speaking of Stephen King Easter eggs, we got a mention of Shawshank. Great, you know, so he's going to go Shawshank, which is, you know, obviously the prison from the famous 1994 movie of Shawshank Redemption, starring Tim Robinson and Michael Freeman. So I'm you know, so I really like this part. It was great to, you know, hear the Easter egg of Shawshank at the big prison from the movie that we all love from 1994. So and then what's the end point, Jeff? If you I guess the captain showing the slingshot to his one of the commanders was a really great reveal. I actually like that moment. I like how it tied into the flashback, and I did not expect that. I was like, oh, so he's the young kid, so it makes sense why he's after Pennywise, because he knows that he has this power to like use fear against the enemy, you know, and that makes a lot of sense from episode 2 when he was explaining that to what was it the other fella, I forget the name. Mike is the name, or what's it? Leroy, Leroy, who's going to be the person that's going to take Dick up to the air and like do the shine. So so it makes a lot of sense now why he was after Pennywise, because he has a counter to him before, and so he wants to use Pennywise, you know, as episode 2. As he stated in episode 2, that he wants to use it to go against the Soviets, because we're in 1962. The, you know, if you know your history, this is during the Cuban Missile Crisis era. So I really like this review, and I think it really makes the episode really unique. So that's my thoughts on this section. I really like this section overall.
Okay. So Shaw visits Rose at her pawn shop about her termination letter and lies to her about the reason for the excavations. Lily and Ronnie recruit Will and Rich into their plan, and Rich claims that the thing is an Orisha, an evil spirit. The group sets out to summon it. They go to the cemetery for the ritual when they discover that Rich is not sure if it will work. As they leave, they have a vision of spirits chasing them. They manage to take pictures of which one shows a clown. You know, and they go and develop all the pictures or whatever at the high school, right? And that's the end of the episode, right? Andres, what are your thoughts on that big, you know, sort of like half a section of episode I just dropped right there?
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this section. It's really fun. I think the best part of this episode, was seeing the character Dick using the shine when he was touching the slingshot, and then he's like in and out in what you call it, the state like of his mind is like really cool. And like you're seeing, you know, Leroy and his best friend who are, you know, operating the what do you call it, the helicopter, and they're like seeing him making a noise. It's like, what the heck is going on here? And then you're seeing, you know, Dick who's traveling like into the astral projection and then landing into, of course, Pennywise hideout, which we all seen in the movies. And like that was a cool moment to see the like, I don't know, like Pennywise cart that, you know, is used in the circus. And like that scene was fantastic, well directed, very scary. The fact that we actually heard Bill Skarsgård voice was kind of cool, because I didn't expect that he was gonna talk to Pennywise. It was cool to see Pennywise like knowing that was Dick in that moment, in his lair. I was not expecting that he knew that he was coming or something like that. So that's really unique. And honestly, before Leroy was trying to get Dick out of that kind of that state. He Dick briefly sees his grandma. By the way, a nice touch of that because
those were the deadlights, right?
Yes, that's the deadlights. Yes, and now his grandma is not a deadlight because that didn't happen in the universe. But it was cool to see his grandma because his grandma also shined as well. If you remember in the movie, the Stanley Kubrick movie, The Shining, he talks about to Danny, the young Danny, that how he discovered the shine was with his grandma. So it was really neat to see his grandma warning him about Pennywise. That was a really cool and neat moment there. If you a big fan of The Shining, but yeah, so that scene was awesome. Really highlight of the episode, and seeing the kids trying to form, their losers club basically with Richie and what's that other kid's name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting the names of these kids. But the other one that's Leroy's kid, his son, to like help them out to like find some evidence of Pennywise and take a picture. It's really neat. Add some humor in the episode because the episode is kind of very like dark in some areas. So it's good to have some of the kids make some humor here to like balance the drama and all that. And the other thing, I like the twist with Rose, the now the older Rose. She was there from the flashback. That was a great twist because I was wondering like why she was in the trailer like quite a bit and like why she was like this prominent. And then now it makes sense, that she's the young crush of Shaw, and so the fact that they had this moment was really cool. And she knows a lot more what's going on than she's like laying out to Shaw. She knows something out there with Pennywise, and she's doing this thing of being like, okay, I need to know what he knows about. And another thing is, if you don't know about the It universe, it is true when you leave Derry, you forget what you experience with if you encounter Pennywise. That's something that has been before. Like the main protagonists of the It chapters, like when they left and when they grow up, they totally forgot about their experience in Derry and Pennywise. So that was really cool to see that Shaw didn't remember too much about his time in Derry because it was a similar thing as we see with the kids in the It movies. So that scene was interesting. I'm very curious what we're gonna do with her, the older Rose, and like how she's gonna be like in factor to the storyline. Because that part I'm like really excited because her I don't know, her grandson, her son is like watching over the digs that the military are doing. And he doesn't like what they're doing with the digs because of it's really true. You've seen the shows like Yellowstone or like some other Taylor Shane shows, like, yeah, we do, take the Indian lands for our own and not telling them. So this is all like very true and factual in real life. So very curious what we're gonna do with that side of the storyline. And then of course the kids in the gravestone and them like getting attacked by Pennywise. I do agree with you, Jemran. That part was like not scary because it felt so like Ghostbusters, the new Ghost, Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jeremy, about your opinion on that because like I think it was better. Like I don't know, like it's just weird with Andy Muschietti, who's the director of the movies. Like it was so like when you get scary is when the people who do these weird things and that's really scary. But then when he does these more monstery like like visual effects is not scary, and this part is like, oh, okay, like they're just flying around like they're dead, I guess relatives or something like that.
I was watching or playing fucking Luigi's Haunted Mansion for a second. It was
Oh
kind of
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
so. It
yeah,
wasn't even there. I was like, oh my god.
yeah. It was like that. Yeah. No, that's a good comparison. Um, yeah, it's because like it's like that. It's like like it was literally like an attraction, or like a haunted house or something like that. Um, yeah, I didn't like I'm I'm older now, and it's just like, okay, it's scary for the kids, but it's not like, because we're adults now, and it's not like scary. But I like now the kids know. But it was creepy to see the photos of like their dead, the dead friends, and then that creepy shot of Pennywise in far in the background. That was really creepy. I thought that was really effective. And just wrapping up my thoughts, it was kind of neat to see the like Dick hanging out with Leroy and the wife. That was a cool moment. And I know it's like just like a talkie scene, but it was cool because you saw his powers being activated. Like you see him using his powers. It's kind of like Charles Xavier in the X-Men movies. Like he's talking to his wife, and when he mentioned the son, Leroy say like, I didn't mention my son. I was like, oh, I kind of guessed that. And it just shows like his gift, to Leroy. And it's like, oh, he has something special, and just I again like that he brought up his grandma. That's a major thing about from The Shiny. Is like he brought up, as I brought up before, his grandma was the reason that he discovered his ability. So it's nice to hear that like backstory from the movie The Shiny and the book. So yeah, I really like this episode. Not me like it's definitely my favorite because right now we'll see which next episodes are going to be my favorite, because this one appel us to the next plot points, which I'm happy about, and like take us where the mystery is at right now. So, because we got a couple more episodes, and so that's good. So that's my overall thoughts. I thought this section was really awesome.
All right, J Rant, same thing, sir. What do you think about that sort of half episode towards the end of the episode that I dropped there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff that Andre covered is kind of right on point. The whole cemetery part wasn't scary. The pictures, I thought that was kind of goofy. Like, oh, let's take pictures so we can get proof. I thought that was a little goofy because it's like, you can't take those, or whatever. I don't know. But then, they made like the pictures come out like, a little scary. The pictures were more scarier than the actual ghosts themselves. The pictures of the eyes, like just the eyes in the shadows, is like more scary than anything, I guess, if you want to call it scary. The scene where the guys are talking about, he's like, he didn't touch too much on this, or we didn't touch too much on this, but the part where he's like, I saw inside your head, and you were not afraid. You were analytical, thinking of the next thing. I wouldn't want to mess with a guy like that. I mean, I thought that was a pretty cool exchange, of like their dynamic together, of like what kind of people they are. He goes, but if you saved my life, and you're the kind of guy that I want on my side, or want but next to me, in case shit goes down, in other words. So that little exchange that they had there was pretty interesting. And then, because I'm assuming they're trying to keep it like, what is this? Is this rated MA or is this rated R? I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's TVM. Yeah, it's rated R.
Okay. So I
know it's HBO, J Rant. It's always rated R.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they're trying to keep it close, keep it kind of clean, because like, this was during a time in American history where like racism was like really high, and they give you that hint that it was really high based off of the time, based off of like the actions of like of some of the people, you know what I mean? Like these guys are out here, but damn well, there's a lot of certain things that probably could be said in other movies if it was taking place in that time, that's not being said. So it's like you can sense the racism they're trying to imply, but it's not directly said like full blown either, so it's pretty cool. Like they're trying to fit it in. It's kind of clean, so scary. I feel like it's been watered down, because you can go full blown scary and you can go almost full blown racist too in the movie, and I feel like both of those have been downsized a little bit in the movie based off based off of what I've seen, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be either or, but it's definitely made for a wider audience, maybe to appreciate, maybe even kids, to, you know. So um, the whole dynamic of everything that's going on, where we're at, I do like it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, J Rat. As far as like other HBO shows that I've seen before in the past, it Welcome to Derry is a very like a very like light R rated show. It's not as adult as some of the other HBO stuff that comes out. So you're right. They're not pushing the gore or like the blood, really, or aspects of horror in this show, really, yeah, most definitely. All right, yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. I thought episode 3 was a great episode. I do think the horror is kind of on the light side, but that's kind of how it is in a way. That's kind of how it's been, from my understanding, in the past when they've depicted it. It's not really like, it's a lighthearted kind of scary, and a visual scary, all right. So you guys, give me your ratings on the episode. J-Rant, what's your 1 through 10 rating?
For episode 3, only because I didn't like the graveyard scene, I'm going to go with maybe a 7. 7 because I like the show in general. But not a high rating because I mean that scene to me was a little silly. The first 2 episodes I would give them higher ratings than this one, so I'll go 7. I still give it high, but not as high as it could have been for the goofiness.
Okay, Andres.
Yeah, I will be a little higher here. I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. I really like this episode as Jeff. I mainly because I was, as a Shiny fan, I was very happy to see Dick be more like a character in this episode, seeing his abilities of the Shine being used, and I thought that aspect of the episode was like my favorite. And then second favorite was the twists and turns. I thought that was really good in this episode. We were moving forward with the plot of the series, which is good. But I do agree with Jared. The last part of the kids with the cemetery was definitely not my favorite. But I seen the It movies, and this is how It movies were. I think Machete always balanced the horror with some like he's mixing a lot of classic Hollywood stuff like Steven Spielberg and like that type of like family horror vibe. This is what the show is. This is very much a family horror vibe, which is not a problem. So, but it's like as Jeff said before, it's not like the other HBO shows. If you were expecting like a hard R horror show like Lovecraft Country or Tales of the Crypt, that's not that kind of show. It's a bit more like Poke to Ice or whatever horror movie that Steven Spielberg did, like Draws. It's basically like what Draws is. It's half horror, half thriller, bit more comedy side of that. So that's the type of show you're gonna get. And that's not a problem. I like the balance of the tone right here. So that's my thoughts on this episode.
I wanted your rating.
I say 8.5 out of 10. Sorry about
Okay, that's all right. 8.5 out of 10. All right. I'll give it an 8 myself. Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. The cemetery section was pretty lame, I won't lie. But there were enough good things that happened in the episode to where I feel pretty good about giving it an 8.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, guys. That'll wrap up our recap of It Welcome to Derry episode 3. Under an hour on this recap. But hey, it happens. So you know what? We'll go ahead and do our content plugs, and we'll get out of here. J-Ron, I didn't even realize you had a YouTube channel, but I found your YouTube channel.
No. Oh, you did bring it up. Okay, we're already there.
Yeah, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, but I don't do anything with it. But it's okay. Yeah,
I know. I know all your content's old.
Yeah, that's some of the OG stuff. But anyway, if you're gonna put me on, yeah, you can go fool around on YouTube and you can see some of the old stuff. Really, everything that gets downloaded is on Spotify. It's on Apple. That's mainly where a lot of the stuff that still gets downloaded. I get downloads still every day. It's building and building, surprisingly. And I haven't done it in about a year. I can't believe it's been about a year. But I still get plenty of downloads. I get notifications all the time that people are still listening to my junk, which is surprising. But eventually, I'll get back on the horse and ride off into the sunset again. We'll start.
Okay,
A new
sure.
Please return.
I plan to. The goal is to return.
There you go. Andres wants you to come back into action so that he can be a guest on a podcast Odyssey.
Hey, yeah.
Absolutely. When I'll tell you this right now, when Podcast Odyssey returns, we're gonna be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff.
Awesome. Good. We should do
That sounds interesting. All right, Andres.
Yes. Hello everyone. This is Andres Culture Guy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for it. Welcome to Derry. Sorry about the technical difficulties from my side, but hey, what are you gonna do? So, just posted my Screen 7 Stranger Things Season 5 trailer reaction what I did with franchise addict Luke. So please check that out. That was from the Reanimator podcast that I did live stream during the Halloween week, and then I posted this crazy death scene from Live and Let Die. It's from the James Bond, the first outing for you watch more. Tonight I'm going to post a new comic book series for you guys for the Bond Mania. It's going to be a James Bond comic to check out. It's from 2022. Very interesting comic book, so it's going to be 6 parts. So throughout pretty much the beginning of November through late December, early December. So that's my calculation. New shorts. I did a Predator clip where Arnie say the iconic one, get into the chopper. My last review was Thunderbolt. Tonight, I guess maybe tonight? Yeah, I don't know. My next movie review will probably be something, or a TV review. I probably have to do a TV review. I'll probably do Dead City, review that for season 2. But besides that, next live stream review will be another Bond one. This next one for the 16th is going to be A View to a Kill. I got a couple great guests there. Of course, the Middle Age reviews. Matt and Tim are going to come over this Sunday with me and Jeff. So that's going to be awesome. And the last part of the Bond Mania live stream review will be Golden Eye at the 30th. So check that out. Please support me and Jen Rent and Jeff and the MC Bleeding Edge content. So I really appreciate you guys. Help us continue our hard work. That's all we need.
There you go, folks. And we appreciate everybody out there who catches our recap in either audio or video form, and we will see you on the next one. Later.